We heard that noticeable sort of like hooty sound in there. Kia ora and welcome. My name's ZoeStibi and I'm a vocal coach with over 18 years of experience in teaching people like yourself how to sing. So if you want to learn to sing like Billie Eillish and with more stability and control throughout your vocal range, then check out the link in the description below, because in 2025, I will be accepting a handful of students into my private intensive teaching program. So check that out down below. Let's do it. Let's take a look. I love Tiny Desk. I love Tiny Desk. I love Billie Eilish. Let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique.
I'm trying my best to keep you satisfied. Let you get your rest while I stayed up all night.
This song is just stunning. I've never heard this before, actually. First time listening. That's really fucking hard to do. So we'll go like da 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 da. We're in a thinner vocal fold sound there. There's a little bit of air coming through. That just means that the vocal folds are slightly open, but she's keeping the volume right down low. And you saw she turned her head away, and that's to naturally basically cause it to be much, much quieter. So great the way that she's playing with the microphone technique as well. Let's just listen to it. You can really see on her face this cry.
I'm trying my best to keep you satisfied. Let you get your rest while I stayed up all night. And you don't wanna know.
And we're going to interrupt that harmony. Can you see that? She did that little swallow because this increase in the breath also causes sometimes for the vocal folds to be a little bit dry. And we've got this, and you don't even know. Really, really cry. And you can hear, you saw she's moved away from the microphone. You think that it's quite a quiet sound, but actually when you add breath to a higher note, it is going to sound naturally a little bit louder. So you want to go away from the microphone because we've got it turned right up there. Let's just go back on that, because I wanted to say you can see that really that cry, and that is the main difference between the speaking and singing here.
And you don't wanna know how alone I've been. Let you come and go. Whatever state I'm in.
You can also she is just a master of her vocals, because you know that, you know, from watching the interviews that she does about her vocal, she's very, very, very particular about the sound. You also saw the again. You're going to that N and adding that little bit of vibrato there, just coloring the end of that note really beautifully. So I'm too excited, can't speak anymore. So you can see the breathing in more there, so that she can, you know, surge the breath through those lovely phrases. Now, she's also using the breath there as a way of expressing the sound. So not just going, but look at my lovely breath control. You know, you're thinking, if you're singing with that much breath, it would also probably be because I'm so upset with something. So using that can really drive the drama in the song as well. Let's just listen to that again.
Whatever state I'm in, man, am I the greatest? My congratulations, all my love and patience, all my admiration, all the times I waited for you to want me naked. I made it all look painless. Man, am I the greatest?
And you can hear, man, am I the greatest? And she just added that on there. We know that she's got choir experience from like way back, but she is really particular about making sure that everyone hears all of the words. And when we're working with articulation, we want to make sure that we're strengthening the muscles so that when we, and you know, that's why we do quite like strong exercises to make sure that we're strengthening the muscles for those consonants. And that means that when we come off the pressure and we sing a little bit sort of like lighter, then that's still working for us. So you can see, let's just go back at the beginning of that.
All my admiration, all the times I waited for you to want me naked. I made it all look painless. Man, am I the greatest?
So we had that change there. We got da-da-da-da-da-da. I think we're like right quite in sort of the midsection of the chest voice. Yeah, around the G4 there. So da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I think she was on the so she's going from the C5 there down to the B. So that is really, really great to going over her passaggio, using that passaggio, which is the space between the chest and the head voice, using that to go to flip up into this falsetto-y sound. I actually think she's in a very, very light chest voice sound there.
Doing what's right without a reward, and we don't have to fight when it's not worth fighting for.
So you can hear there when they start singing that second verse together that, you know, Phineas is just, he's so wonderful at singing harmonies, especially with Billie. When people are related, their voices tend to go together quite well, purely because of like the physical makeup of the vocal tract. It tends to kind of, they harmonize really, really well together. So there's that, but also when you're harmonizing with someone maybe that you're not related to, you're wanting to take out a lot of the characteristics of your voice. So we're taking out the vibrato in a lot of cases, and we're kind of going to a slightly lighter sound that is almost, I don't want to say devoid of your own sound, but it's like devoid of all those characteristics of like, you tend to sing more on the vowel and less on those consonants, but you're also following the lead singer far, far more obviously than you would if you were singing solo. So you're trying to basically just match them the whole time. Let's just watch that again.
When it's not worth fighting for, and you don't wanna know what I would have done
love the way that Billie really is moving her jaw around, and even her targa. I mean, that's not exactly what she did, but you can see the jaw just coming out a little bit at the bottom there. You don't want to say like, that's what she's doing, so I'm going to do it as well. It's just that sometimes when you bring the jaw forward slightly for the higher notes, it can sometimes help for some people, but not for everybody. And what you're doing there when you're changing the tongue position is you're changing the color that's coming out. So we want to be thinking about like changing. This is an instrument, much like with a trumpet player using that thing in front of it. We're almost using our mouths and our lips like that kind of mute on a trumpet to change the sounds that are coming out.
My congratulations, all my love and patience, all my admiration, and all the times I waited for you to want me naked. I made it all look painless. Man, am I the
That tonal change there. So you go, man, am I greatest? And she was in falsetto. We heard that noticeable sort of like hooty sound in there. There's not a lot of vocal fold contact, but there's definitely a lot of breath being thrown through the sound there. But she pulled the breath pressure back. So when you go, man, am I the greatest? Because that would have, usually it tends to, if we use too much volume in falsetto, push the sound a little bit too high.
still do. I just wanted passion from you. Just wanted what I gave you. I waited and waited. Man, am I the
You just really feel like you can feel the soul being poured into the song. That's what I love about both of them when they're singing, is that they just, you really feel that they're in that moment. And did you notice that there was also like this tonal shift going into the slightly instrumental and then into the bridge? Phineas started to do the strumming sort of through the second verse, and that's what we're doing. We're constantly sort of like building the sound, not just through getting louder in a song, and that's not really what they're doing. They're not really getting louder. The instrumentation is getting bigger and the sound is growing in the instrumental track rather than pushing all the time in the vocals, and I just absolutely love that. For me, it feels like whenever they're performing, it's like they are, and I know the voice is an instrument, but it feels like they're really working with the music as like together with the instruments, rather than like singer standing at the front and the instruments kind of like just like, or the band kind of just going with them. I really feel like they fit with them really, really well. It's like so unmusical, but whatever. That's just what I'm feeling, people. And you've got this really like, and she kind of turned her head away. I think there was a little bit of like a kind of cheap decrescendo, which is absolutely fine. We move ourselves away from the microphone. It's going to sound quieter than when we are closer to the microphone.
man, am I the greatest? God, I hate it. All my love and patience unappreciated. You said your heart was jaded, couldn't even break it. I shouldn't have to say it. You could have been you guys.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it when they get out of that moment, like they're in that moment of the song and then they just like click out of it. It's so, so cool. But you can just really, really, she pulled the volume right back for those low notes there. And it's very different to the way that she speaks. We just heard that there. You've got a little bit of constriction going on here, which is the area up with the false vocal folds above the true vocal folds, just coming together. It's like, man, am I the greatest? Coming in the way of that breathy sound. Now, she's not whispering by any means. It's really a falsetto sound. You could hear that like going through, where she swapped from like a breathy thin vocal fold at the beginning of that last section to into the falsetto. You heard this going on there. She really is a vocal masterclass. But if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be having a look at the whole Tiny Desk concert. I'm freaking obsessed with it. And if you want to have a then and now of Billie Eilish, of like where her vocal technique has come, let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in and what video I should take a look at for it. Which song shall we do? Because that's a new series that I am thinking about doing in 2025. I always want to like stroke my beard, but I don't have one just yet. If you're interested in learning how to sing like Billie Eilish and capturing these really lovely thin vocal folds without wrecking your voice, I know what it's like. You start singing that you get really dry, you're not really sure what to do, you're struggling like mad. Check out the link in the description below because I'm here to help you. I will be taking on a small handful because my studio is so packed. I am going to be opening up a handful of one-to-one singing lesson spots for people that are interested in really improving their singing in 2025. I'm here to help you. You can apply for a spot down in the description below. I've also got my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, which is accepting new students for our bi-weekly masterclasses to learn all the different things all about vocal technique. Take a look some more Billie up here. I'll be taking a look at her whole concert. I'll see you around here after I've done a little bit of teaching. Happy singing. Anyone can learn to sing. I'm here to give you the tools. So subscribe to the channel. I'll see you around here. Ka kite anō.